So it's Christmas Eve here, and I just thought I'd do a video just going through my Chronic Fatigue superhero book and just sharing some of my favourite comics with you and just a few stories behind them, just for anyone who might be interested. I've never really done a video about the book. I've posted about it lots, but I've never really done a video, so I thought this might be cool for anyone who's interested. So hang around for about 10 minutes or 1 minute, whatever you can do, whatever you want to do. And I'll go through some of my favourites with you, and if there's an interesting story, maybe, I'll share that too. Anyway, so we start with this first one here. CFS Superhero to the Rescue, right after 13 more hours on the couch recovering from the last rescue. That's the first one I ever did. I started drawing these on the first day that I ever woke up and couldn't move, couldn't get out of bed. I drew a very, very basic stick figure, and this is I've redone it for the book, but the original is pretty terrible because I could barely move. Then this one here, where he's trying to learn how to fly, but he's falling off the post box. I've hidden a few things on the post box. We've got no posting people, no posting aeroplanes, and no posting bombs. If you zoom in on that one. This one here is the second one I ever did, which is the cat stuck up the tree. And I don't have a cat at all, but this cat appears, I think, 10 times in the book. It's hidden throughout the book, so look for that cat. I don't know why I ended up doing that. It was just in this one thing, and then it ended up being in two, and then it kind of became a joke that I started hiding the cat through the book. So you can see in the next comic, the cat is still off to the side here, hidden in the tree. So that cat is all through the book. It gets into a lot of mischief. This one here, the old man crossing the street, this I think is just perfect because I get a lot of, elderly people asking me to do things for them because they'll look at me, and and I'll always help, always have, but because I've been tall, I've always been the one that when I'm in the grocery store, people are always like, can you reach that for me? And so I've always had people asking me to help them, and I just thought it was always so funny because the old man saying, can you help me cross the street? I can't walk very well. And he's like, I was going to ask you the same thing. So yeah. This one here is actually a good friend of mine, Eliza, who loves birds, and that's why I've hidden a little bird down there in the corner. Another really bad pun, which there are a lot of in here. This one here, there is one Disney movie that I love, and it's Tangled. So this is Rapunzel from Tangled, this is the tower, and this here is the wanted poster for Flynn Rider from the movie Tangled. That's that one there. This is also a reference to something I love, which is Les Miserables. There's a scene where a guy gets stuck under a wagon. So yeah, when reading this book, I was like, why? Maybe people will look at this and go, why is someone be pulling a wagon? It's a reference to one of my favorite movies, books, plays, where a guy's pulling a wagon and the main character lifts it off him. This is a lot of people's favorite, the Supervision. It's one of my favorites. CFS Superhero, do you have supervision? Not really, but on my bad days I do need supervision. This is really cool because there was about 8 months that I wasn't even able to draw or lift my arm before I did this. So the one before this and then this one, there was 8 months between it. So this was kind of a comeback one for me. This was really cool to create. There's that cat again. He's got the super hearing, as we all do. Resisting arrest. There's about 5 stand-up ones in here, and I think resisting arrest is a lot of people's favorites. This one here actually happened to me. This is one where I had to get an Uber. I couldn't walk. I had to get an Uber to my physiotherapist to sort of do some exercises to get my legs working again. And I got out of the Uber drove away, and I got to the door and it said, we've closed and we're 5 minutes walk down the street. And it was a struggle to get to the new physiotherapist that was 5 minutes down the street, so that's that. I love this one. This is based on Batman, obviously, the bat signal in the sky, but he's got the CFS signal, and they put the CFS signal up in the sky, and he's like, can someone turn that light off? I'm trying to sleep. So I love that one. This one's pretty cool. I like this stand-up one about he tries a new therapy. He sits in the bath and calls himself lazy, boring, smelly, and unattractive. He was doing this for 3 months before he realized his therapist said bath in salts, not bath insults. So that's one of my favorites. This one here is based on exclusion diet, I think it's called, where you exclude amines, salicylates, and amines, and it basically means you can't eat anything. And I actually had to do this for a long time, and the joke here, there's actually a pear with no skin on this cake, and that's because the only fruit I was allowed to eat was a pear with no skin on this diet. I ended up severely ill on it. The person who gave me that diet didn't really understand my condition, so yeah, that's part of the fun of this condition. The doctor here, I love it because his medical certificate is from a cereal box, if you zoom in on that. There's a few hidden things in this book. This is an acupuncture one, which I love. I made this before I'd even done acupuncture, and I actually still do acupuncture now. And I don't mind it. It actually helps. If you get the right person, it can help. But it's just him being terrified of getting needles jammed in him, so he pretends that he has a rescue to do and runs away. This is obviously a joke on the tilt table test, which is not a joke because it's terrifying and awful and one of the worst things I've ever done, which is why I had to make light of it here and call it a torture device, because it is. It is a literal torture device. This is one of my absolute favourites. She throws out all his saucepans because she overheard him saying he wished he didn't have pots anymore. That's one of my absolute favourites. A lot of people like this one too. This is a pile of salt at dinner. And there's the cat under the table. I have no cat, but there's a cat hidden all through this book. So this is obviously a joke on all the supplements that we have to take. And yeah, if you zoom in on the book here, which you might not be able to see very well, but the book is actually called, it's a sports autobiography, and it's called My Life in Someone Else's Words. And that's a bit of a joke because a lot of sports players write autobiographies, but they never actually write them themselves. They've always got someone else's name on it, so that title is a bit of a joke that none of them actually really write those books themselves. This meditation one, 100% real. This happened to me. I was in hospital and I could not move. I could not get out of bed. I was mostly paralyzed during the day, and the psychologist came in and she said, we're going to do a grounding technique, and her technique was, feel how heavy your body is. Feel how heavy your body is against the couch. Feel how hard it is to move. Feel the weight of your body. And I was just like, this is the worst meditation you could possibly give someone who feels like they can't get out of bed and feels like their body and muscles are too heavy to move. She's like, focus on the weight of your body. And I was like, this is not helpful. So that's what that's based on. Another meditation one where our thoughts can kind of get in the way of us actually clearing our thoughts, which is funny. We've got the specialist down here trying to sell all of these tubs of garbage, which we've all experienced, and down here he's got this little commission check. I went to a naturopath once that this is based on, and she wanted to give me about 20 supplements. They were $80 each. There's no way I could have afforded them. And, you know, she had a gift shop out the front of her place, and there were photos all over her wall of her traveling the world. And I just thought, oh, this is where my money's going. So that's what that's about. This one here I like. She's trying to open the jam jar. And if you zoom in, the jam is called jammed because it won't open. That's a really cool one. This took me a long time to draw. Some of them I put a bit extra effort into when I have the time or energy or something. That's just fishing, because I do that a lot, as people who follow this page know. This one here is a little birthday cake for the superhero, and if you zoom in, he's actually on the cake. There's a little koala down here, and that's just a toy koala that I have. So a long time ago, when I was really unwell, my partner, I went past a shop and there was a koala at the front, and it has a little motion sensor in its belly, a little toy koala. And when you walk past the motion sensor, it starts laughing. And it always cheered me up when I walked past this shop and the koala would start laughing. So my partner got it for me, and we love it, and we've had it for 12 years, this toy koala, this laughing toy koala. And I wanted to put him in the book, so he's there, because he's brought me a lot of joy. This is where he's trying to do physio, and he's eating chips because he's doing crunches on the chips. This is everyone on New Year's saying they're going to do it all right this year, and 7th of January they're on the floor doing the same stuff as they've always done, which is very relatable. Superhero, why are you wearing those ridiculous pants? Because my doctor told me I needed to be less afraid of flares. Terrible joke, but I love it. That one there is Emily Kate, a friend of mine. Some of you probably follow her. She likes photography, so I put her there with a little camera. This for me is one of my absolute favorites. It is, I've been on here for years in this community, and a lot of people talk about the spoon theory, and to me the spoon theory is useless. I know a lot of people will disagree, but I think it's something that only makes sense to us. And whenever I've tried to use it to explain to healthy people, it's not helpful. They don't get it. It's too confusing. And I wanted something simpler that made sense, and this has always made sense. When I explain this to healthy people, they get it straight away. And that is that, imagine waking up on 10% battery because you forgot to charge your phone, or your phone didn't charge properly, and you have to get through the whole day on 10% battery. So that means, YouTube, games, anything like that's going to chew a lot of battery, you can't do it at all. And if you do watch like one YouTube video, your battery's gone for the day. So it's all, you can maybe send a text, and then you got to sort of pace it out, and then maybe in the afternoon you can like read an email, send an email. So I find the 10% battery thing a lot more helpful than the spoon theory. If you find the spoon theory helpful, that's fine. I've always found that we get it, but that healthy people don't get it. This is probably my favorite in the whole book. If you have the book, you know this one. I'll read it to you. It's my favorite. Superhero, you gotta help. I was abducted by aliens. They drugged me and probed me in places I'd rather not talk about. Superhero says, what a coincidence. The same thing happened to me today, though mine was at my gastroenterologist. He was probed too, but in a different way. That is one of my favorite ones. That's probably my favorite one, but it depends, on the day. This is the only one where he's wearing a cape because he's flying in it, so it kind of just made sense. But otherwise he doesn't have a cape because, I don't think there was really a reason why I didn't put a cape on him, except that I didn't have the energy to draw a cape every time. I wanted to make it as simple as possible. And I always kind of regretted putting these clouds on his pajamas because they're so annoying to colour when you have no energy, and colouring around them, they're very difficult. But maybe I don't regret it because it looks really cool. I think it looks really cool. This is the one where she's like, superhero, today you said you'd show me your true identity. And he says, this is my true identity. So this is because, we put on like a fake smile, and we put on a fake sort of amount of energy that we don't really have for a lot of people. Or the us that people see isn't like the real us. And it's not because we're faking or anything, but it's just when you go out, you want to present your best and do your best. So this is all about, yeah, you see him standing up in a lot of the comics, and that is his disguise, but his true identity is that he's exhausted and he needs to rest. So that's an important one. The cat is hidden up there on the speech bubble. And this is one of my, I sort of finished the book on this because I think this is one of my absolute favorites. I think it's really sweet. This probably is my favorite. The gastroenterologist one for me is the funniest, maybe, but I like this one because it's so sweet. And it's quick, he's getting away to the CFS mobile. Go superhero. The CFS mobile is his wheelchair, and he's actually chasing a butterfly. So that's kind of how I ended it. This is a little inspirational sort of thing on the end there, but this for me is sort of the end of the story. Then at the end we have the bonus puzzles. I don't remember why or how I came up with these, but it was just an idea to put some funny puzzles in the back for when you have brain fog days. Puzzles, you know, that are, most puzzles are too difficult on bad days. So I was like, let's make puzzles for people that are so possible it's ridiculous. So this puzzle is Sudoku, but it's just missing all the ones. So that's a nice easy one. This is a memory one, and they're all aces. This is possibly my favorite. This is a maze. Helps superhero find Ariel, which is pretty damn easy. Spot the difference. There's only one difference and it's really big. Spot the odd one out. There's the cat again. So that's pretty easy. Crosswords that give you all the answers. This is actually maybe one of my favorites. Join the dots. 1 and 2. I love that one. This is the first one I made, which was just a joke originally, and then I made the whole series of them, which was just a find a word for a brain fog day, which there's only one word and it's everywhere. This is a brain fog jigsaw puzzle with only 2 pieces, one really large one and a little one. And we finish on the last one I did, which took me forever. This is a Where's Wally / Where's Waldo, depending what country you're in, version, and he's literally everywhere. So he's very easy to find. And the book finishes with, this is the actual, where are we? So this was a version that I redid for the book. And this was the actual first one that I drew, which looks terrible for a reason, and that is that I couldn't lift my hand, really. That was very difficult, and I couldn't move for hours after even just doing that. I didn't even colour it in. My partner coloured that in. I just drew that and the thing, and then I was out for hours. So it started from that and ended up as a book, which is pretty cool. I hope you've enjoyed flicking through it with me. And if you don't have it, what are you doing? Get it. It's really good. I love it. I think that humor is everything. I lost my mum when I was 15, and I remember watching Seinfeld and The Simpsons in the afternoons, and it was, you know, it was such a hard time at 15 to lose my mum, and watching these comedies, it gave me something. And I remember then at 15 that I wanted to write comedy and make comedy. I wanted to give people something, even if they had nothing like in their lives worth laughing about or feeling happy about. I wanted to give them something that could give them that laugh or give them that smile, even when everything else was going wrong. So that's what a lot of my writing has always been. And when I got sick, I wasn't really able to write anymore, and I'm still struggling to do a lot of writing. But I sort of did this over the course of 5 years and just did it slowly and surely, and eventually had enough to release it. And so I wanted to put this into people's lives that are really struggling, and it's not about making fun of the condition or making light of it, but it's just about being able to laugh during a rough time, or being able to laugh at some of the absurdities of the condition, which there are a lot of, because there's a million symptoms and they don't always make sense. So it's just a way to sort of, you know, have a laugh at the absurdities of this thing that is life. And for everyone that has it, I hope you love it. I hope you've enjoyed flicking through it with me. And for everyone that doesn't have it, you can get it at the link in my bio on Amazon. Just search on Amazon in your local country and you can get it. It'd be really cool. It's also a cool gift for anybody if you know anyone with chronic illness. I read it constantly. I really enjoy it. I made it, so I have to say that, but it's true. I flick through it and I really love it. So yeah, have a look at it, give it a go, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing it with me today. See you later.